Hi everyone, this is Margarita with CityGal Papeterie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to show you some cards I created in a monochromatic style using patterned scrap paper. I did want to show you guys just briefly how I used my scrap papers for them to be monochromatic. I sometimes get questions about how to pair scrap papers that have patterns on them, different types of patterns, but I kind of want to show you more or less what to look for when you are trying to pair or combine different types of patterns in the same colors and tones. You can see just by this little pile of yellow paper that they are all yellow, but definitely different in their tone and like undertones, and that will affect your outcome when you do pair them and mix them together. I'm going to start by just showing you this little pile of pink scrap paper. You can see that there are they are all pink, but they are different shades and different tones. So these two might not look as good as they would with other pinks, and this is another example. So you can see the top piece has a hint of yellow or orange, where the paper on the right is like a fuchsia and it has more of a bluish tone to it. So when you put the one on top of the other, you can actually tell that there's something off. So when you pair your pattern papers together, or your papers of the same color but different tones, and you feel like something is off, just think of the warmth of the colors. Sometimes they are cooler, so they have some blue undertones like these, so these would go together well, or they might have warmer undertones like the other two pieces of pink paper, and so these two would go together well. I hope that makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining certain things, but yeah, if you're mixing and matching pattern papers of the same color and you feel like something's off, it's just something to consider, that maybe there's just some of the tones that are off. So these three would pair well because they have that bright yellow, but if you introduce this other yellow, you can tell that it's a little bit different. It has a different undertone that changes the feel of it. So here you can see really well how you have the bright yellow at the bottom, and then the top one is more of a softer pastel type of yellow. Now you can put them together. Obviously there's no craft police that's going to tell you not to do that. You do whatever you want, but if you feel like there's something off, that's just something to consider. This one is just deeper than the other, but again, you can tell the top ones have a little bit of orange in them, making them a deeper, darker yellow than the bright yellow in the back. Here's another example of that more pastel type of yellow. So I wouldn't mix these colors because I feel that the tone is off, but I would combine the two on the left. I think those would go well together. I would combine these two because, again, I think that they have the same tones. And then I would combine these other brighter yellows together. Then we have this other type of yellow that alone, they go well. They have a greenish tint. But when you put them over or next to the other bright yellow, you can really see the difference. Okay, so just some tips for pairing these colors together if you wanted to make some monochromatic cards just like these using your scraps. I definitely encourage you to mix and match and try different things. These are the ones that I created using these techniques, and all of these blues have a little bit of green in them, so they're a little mint or teal or aqua. And I try to lay them down in a pattern. So I'm repeating some of the patterns, and it helps to tie them all together. Underneath my title, or rather my sentiment, is a different type of blue That didn't quite coordinate, so that's why I put my sentiment over it to just cover it up. And then I used a background paper that also had the same tones as the papers I was already using. For this next one, again, the blues are sort of in the same family, but there is a little bit of navy in there as well. I use a doily to break up some of the colors and give the eye some place to rest. And then I have these layering scallop circles, again with the different colored blues. The middle scallop circle has the navy that's also in the background to kind of tie those colors together. And then I chose like a larger pattern, a medium-sized pattern, and a smaller pattern. And this way, it's just nicer to look at when you combine patterns in that way. For this one, I use a lighter aqua and minty blues. Again, they all have these sort of yellowish, greenish undertones, and so they go well together. And then I laid them out in a pattern form. The pattern does repeat. And then I found this sentiment that has the same colors and a blue ribbon in the background just for some detail and texture. And then again, a background pattern paper that has the same color and tone. For this next one, I use some more darker, deeper bluish green colors. I love that teal leaf. It was a cut file that I was playing around with, and then I found this birthday boy sentiment that was pretty much the same exact color. I thought it went perfectly with this card, and I used the same style as the previous card with the strips at an angle on a little panel. Very simple. Definitely used up a lot of my little scraps. And then for this last of the blue cards, I repeated that same style again and just used some strips in the background in a pattern. And I found this really pretty unicorn tag and some ribbon, some twine that had that same aqua color. It just says, "Believe in your dreams." And that's my blue set. And my favorite of these is the one with the feather. I really like how that one turned out. Let me know which one you like the most out of the blue group of cards. Now this is a group of pink monochromatic cards. This is the simplest one. I have a background pattern piece and then a striped piece that's again same tone, it's just a little lighter, and the accent piece in the middle that has the butterflies. They all have some yellow undertones, and the piece of paper with the butterflies also has some yellow on it. I do like sometimes with monochromatic cards to have like a complementing color, and in this case it would be yellow. It helps to give the eye some place to rest as you're looking at the designs and the patterns that are all layered on top of each other. For this next one, since I was using so many different patterns, I kept my background a solid fuchsia color. And then I took, excuse me, a heart punch, which I'm looking for now. I used this heart punch, which I think is a Fiskars, but I can't say for sure. It doesn't have the brand on it anywhere. But I punched a bunch of hearts with this heart punch, and then in order for them, even though they're different tones of pink, there's some yellowish tones and some bluish tones, I repeated some of the patterns, and in this way it would tie them all together and kind of make them look like they belong all together. And then I chose one gold, these are just another repeating pattern. I chose that one gold heart to put the little pink banner on with the sentiment. And I also elevated that on some foam tape. For this next one, I had that ombre background paper that's pink with some orange tones, and I used a doily again to break up some of the pink and give the eye some place to rest. That largest heart in the background, the pink was very similar to the pink on the background piece on the matte paper. So I ran it through my Sizzix with an embossing folder and gave the paper some texture so that this way it stands out against the background and it doesn't look exactly the same. And then because the two top hearts had a more bluish tone, I used that same tone on my sentiment, have your cake and eat it too. And this way all of the pinks are tied together. For this card, I used a pink rosette to help with having more pink and to give it an accent, a little embellishment. And then I paired up some hearts on top of that, added a sticker sentiment and a little pattern piece at the bottom and the top that match to coordinate, and a strip that had a rainbow color but also has pink on it to kind of give it some accent colors. And then here are the yellows, and I had the hardest time with this one card, but I used a card sketch for this one. I'll have to find that. I can't remember whose sketch it was, but yeah, I punched some circles and placed them at the top. I used this gold strip of scrap paper to break up some of the yellow, and I used an accent color here as well, the fuchsia gems and the background of the sentiment to again give the eye some place to rest since it's so much yellow. For this one, I didn't think the yellows matched, but because I doubled up on that striped paper, it kind of helps tie it together. And then I chose a flower die cut that has a deeper yellow, just like the yellow in the middle strip, as well as on the sentiment. And then for this last one, I had the yellow pattern paper that had the greenish tones, and I found this really cute Squeeze a Day die cut with the lemon, and it's got a little pink on it too, so for some accent colors. And yeah, that was my last card. I think that's my favorite of the yellow group. And for the pink, I like the one with the multiple hearts. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some hints, tips, motivation to pull out those scrap papers and use them on your own beautiful cards. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.